Nighttime is the most calming time of day. The noisy kids playing outside are now gone to bed, work is over, and you can just chill. Most people can concentrate and study more at this time of day. I'm most likely typing the script at night. Have you ever wanted to walk out at night and see what the world is like when the sun is not out? I know I've thought about it a few times. You're probably wondering what I'm talking about. I'll cut to the chase. Call of the Night is one of the best anime I've seen this season. Wait, when did this come out again? Summer 2022? What came out then? Huh. Well, now it's the only romance anime I recommend from that season. Let's get to the anime, shall we? Call of the Night is a 13-episode anime and manga that's about to end. This anime is about to be all I have left. Call of the Night starts with our main character Ko Yamori sneaking out in the middle of the night. He cannot sleep because he rejected a girl and her friends scolded him for it, even though it's not his fault that he doesn't like her. He explores the city a bit before stopping at a vending machine where he meets Nozuna Nanakusa. She gets Ko to wander around to help him relax, soon getting him to her place. So Ko gets his blood sucked, and Nozuna tells him that to become a vampire, he'll have to fall in love with one. After sitting at the park for a while, oh my goodness! Ko gives Nozuna details about how he doesn't understand dating. Nozuna motivates him to give up on school and to keep enjoying hanging out at night. He decides to go with it and also has another motive, to fall in love with Nozuna so he can become a vampire. Nozuna tells him to do whatever he wants as she just wants to suck on his blood. But for his blood to taste the best, Ko needs to learn how to enjoy the night. Ko hangs out with Nozuna and gets her a transceiver to communicate, since Nozuna is always hard to find. Ko tells Nozuna about when he got two when he was younger and hid the other one to communicate with whoever found it, but he never did call the other transceiver. They do a test run and fly around the city. Nozuna sucks his blood, the relationship becomes friend status, and Ko wonders if anyone still has the second transceiver before he suddenly gets a signal, and it's not from Nozuna.
Yamori.
This is Akira, one of Ko's childhood friends, also the girl whom Ko accidentally gave the second transceiver. They talk for a bit and agree to meet again at the same time the next day, and that's when Akira and Nozuna meet, and Nozuna sucks Ko's blood right in front of her. This anime desperately needs a season 2. Nozuna tells Akira she's a vampire and takes the two to a restaurant, where Ko tells Akira why he stopped going to school. Akira tries to get Ko to go back, but Nozuna intervenes by questioning their friendship and walks away without elaborating further. Ko tries to chase after her, but has to apologize with a transceiver. She soon goes over to him and... So Ko acts like a teenager for the first 5 minutes. Still thinking about the kiss and seeing a couple do it, Ko believes he's accomplished his goal of falling in love with Nozuna. Speaking of Nozuna, she shows up and instantly notices Ko is acting more confident than usual. Nozuna sucks his blood, and yep, not a vampire. Being the inexperienced teenager that he is, Ko confused the feelings of lust with the feeling of love. Later, we see Akira walk out early to go to school, and guess who sees her? Now she's at Nozuna's place. They play Street Fighter, then move on to a dating sim, and now they're all sleeping together. Ko is living the dream. Since it was raining outside, Akira had no choice but to stay inside with them until it stopped. While waiting, Ko and Nozuna give Akira more details about their deal. They fall asleep until the sun rises, and Akira walks off to school. Lots of Akira character building in this episode, and I'm not complaining since she's a high favorite of mine. A few episodes pass and Nozuna and Ko's relationship grows. Nozuna gets a bath scene and shows her hair down. This anime desperately needs a season 2. Nozuna has a massage service and gets a customer who doesn't want to be at her job, so much that she starts breaking down when talking to Ko. Then Nozuna tosses her out a window. After getting back on the ground, Ko cheers her up and promises that when he becomes a vampire, he'll turn into one too. We don't see her again, but that's alright because we meet more vampires. Ko gets snatched, and the group tells him that now that he knows about vampires, he's seen as a threat and either needs to turn into a vampire or be killed as a human. Each girl tries to trap Ko into falling for them, but it doesn't work as sees Nozuna pilled. Ko explains that he and Nozuna mutually agree on their relationship as Nozuna just happens to show up. They all understand, but Ko learns something about becoming a vampire. If he doesn't become one within a year, he won't become a vampire at all. He tells Akira about it and realizes he now only has 1 year to live. Oh, this is Mahiru, by the way. Ko's other best friend who made Ko so outgoing before he got asked out. He even gets his own arc in the manga, which you must read since it will most likely be over by the time this video is out. Ko and Nozuna go on their first date, and then Ko and Sari go to karaoke, where we get introduced to Akiyama, also known as Mr. Mental, which I like more, so I'm calling him that. Sari tries to kill him, but Ko stops her and knows that he and her want to stay friends even though Sari's the vampire and vampires can't be friends with humans. She turns Mr. Mental into a vampire and gets to stay friends, and we see Ko get jealous of Mr. Mental as he quickly becomes a vampire, but Ko is still struggling. There's a quick Midori and Nozuna maid episode where Ko has a neuron activation when looking at maid pics. So, Nozuna needs money, and she sends Ko out to find people who need relaxation, and that's when Ko tries to hit on a middle-aged woman. This is Kyoko, and she's a detective who asks Ko about the rare amounts of Mr. Mental. Dang it! Akun is a way better nickname, I'm switching. Mahiru gets Ko and Akira to go to their school at night to investigate the 7 deadly sins of their school. They try to find my cousin Hanako, then explored the school to see if the mysteries were true. Mahiru talks about the last mystery, a teacher who randomly appears in a classroom at night. The teacher pounces on Akiru, and Ko gets him off by hitting him with a chair Montgomery Brawl style. Kyoko comes back and lets the teacher suck on her blood, but for some reason, it doesn't taste good. She questions Ko's entire perception of what he thinks a vampire is, then erases the teacher from existence. After leaving the school, Ko explains to Nozuna what happened, and Nozuna confirms that vampires who don't suck on any blood for 10 years will eventually fade away, and that night was the teacher's last. Ko sees Mahiru, who questions Ko about wanting to be a vampire, as he could lose control and hurt Akira, which scares Ko even more. He goes to see Kyoko, who admits she's into middle school boys. She relays Ko's life history and gives him a brutal ultimatum: live as a human or become a vampire and get killed by her. Ko declines, and to scare him, she calls the police since he's a middle schooler out all alone late at night. Ko runs away and gets to hide with my favorite homie, Asuka. He tells Ko that vampires don't know much about each other, akin to humans. They talk a bit more, and Ko realizing that becoming a vampire will protect Nozuna more than it will protect him. Nozuna lets her heart out, telling Ko how everything they've done throughout this whole anime was new to her and that she's been having fun hanging out with him. This anime has the best visuals I've ever seen from a romance anime. I've tried talking about the visuals later like I usually do, but you can just look at every second of this anime and see how beautiful it looks. I'd love to live in this city if I can see this when I look out my window at night. I could give the anime a 10 out of 10 just from the visuals, but I'm not a Demon Slayer fan, so I need a good story to enjoy anime. Speaking of the story, it's pretty simple. Ko wants to be a vampire, and to be a vampire, you have to fall in love with them. So he learns about vampires and has conflicts with that idea. Every character in this anime serves a great purpose with the plot, even the side characters. The interactions between Ko and Nozuna are the highlight of this anime. Nozuna being super confident and showing Ko how fun the nightlife is, even though she's inexperienced, is probably my favorite thing about her. Ko is super relatable in this anime too. Being an inexperienced teen not knowing anything about dating is how every teen feels around that time. Even I still feel this way to this day, probably because I'm here talking about an anime on the internet and not going outside. I've seen people online discussing whether or not Ko is on the aro-ace spectrum. If you don't know what that is, I'll put up a quick definition. I feel like he's more aromantic than asexual because Ko does feel lust when Nozuna kisses him, but he just doesn't get crushes and stuff. You could boil that down to him still being a middle schooler though. All the character interactions always find a way to display the traits of each character. Nozuna always gets embarrassed when discussing affectionate love, but is fine with making dirty jokes. Ko doesn't understand anything about love, but is somewhat confident when looking for the culprit of the weird photos of the maid episode. The rest of the vampires are seen as more experienced than Nozuna, and we get to see some of the offspring that the vampires have gotten. At the same time, Nozuna prefers not to make any, only sucking the blood of people who seem to have trouble sleeping, as sucking blood helps them sleep easier. Siri is the opposite until she meets Akun, with whom she has a good friendship, and she gets to turn him into a vampire so they can still be friends as usual. Midori is seen as the professional, knowing the right ways to get guys to fall for her, knowing a lot about romance, and being the most popular girl at the maid cafe. I'm not one to talk about soundtracks in anime besides intros and endings if they're any good. I can give you a Ron is Gone guarantee that every song in this anime is fantastic, and I'm proud to have them in my playlist. I highly recommend listening to Creepy Nuts. I love their songs, and they even made the Mashal Season 2 opening, which you know is another banger. I love how Call of the Night shows what it's like to adventure out at night by yourself, even if it's exaggerated a bit. I give Call of the Night a 9 out of 10. Everything is great about this anime, besides the fact that they left us at a cliffhanger at the start of a good arc, but hey, at least they gave us the cliffhanger when the arc was at its lowest point. The character interactions are great, the plot is straightforward, the animation is beautiful, and the relationships are realistic. What more do you need for a good romance anime? Thanks for taking time out of your day to watch this. If you've gotten this far, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe and click on the bell icon so you wouldn't miss any new content from me. If you have any points you agree or disagree with, then leave a comment down below about what you liked about this video and what I can improve for the future. If you like what I had to say about Call of the Night, you'll most likely enjoy my review of Toradora. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you whenever I post another video, hopefully next month.
Diamonds on my crown, I'm a first class, this my old bitch. Bro was talking down, I had to tell the bro to hold this, just hold or